Grammy-nominated artist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist Fat Joe took his talents to the White House, but he's also been in the halls of Congress as an advocate for patients for more affordable health care through price transparency.
Do the rock away. Lean back.
The world knows him as hip-hop hitmaker from the Bronx, Grammy-nominated Fat Joe. But some politicians now know him as an advocate for patients' rights.
Right now, millions of people are getting robbed, and not by the guys you might think, but by hospital and insurance executives. They crooks, because they built the system rigged for taking our money by hiding their prices.
He joined forces with a group called Power to the Patients, getting his famous friends to call out politicians for failing to force hospitals to follow the law, which says they must be transparent with their prices.
We demand actual prices and true transparency in healthcare.
Power to the patients.
Putting on concerts to empower patients with the likes of Jelly Roll and three-time Grammy Award winner Wyclef Jean. What is it that drew you to this?
The idea of you going to the hospital, you got people that are scared to actually go to the hospital because at the end of the day, they know whatever that bill is, that's going to bankrupt them.
And the family, the whole family. Fat Joe's advocacy work has not gone unnoticed in the halls of Congress.
But today, when the vice president calls me, I stop everything.
And now, the White House.
But I thank you, Fat Joe, for being here and taking the time, but really for your voice on so many critical issues.
Vice President Kamala Harris calling him up on another matter, using his street cred as a moderator. I noticed that when you went into the meeting and you were sitting there, you mentioned to the vice president in that meeting the issue of, something you've been championing for a long time, which is trying to get hospitals to be transparent with patients about their prices before they get a procedure. Why is that issue so incredibly important to you?
Well, it's a bipartisan issue. It's something that relates to all Americans. There's 100 million Americans in debt right now because of healthcare costs. Healthcare price transparency is everything to me. I took the last 3 years of my life going to Washington maybe every other month, talking to elected officials on both sides. And so even though when the vice president told me to come for the cannabis and talk to the moderate, of course, I got to be in the right rooms. Of course, I had to pull it to the side for 5 minutes to say, listen, man, I'm really about healthcare price transparency because I just feel like we're doing God's work. Like Power to the Patients is doing God's work. And we're actually speaking up for people. I used to say the voiceless. Now I say the unheard because they have voices that just being unheard. And so I'm proud to be a part of that. But when the vice president calls, I pull up.
You certainly did. I do want to ask you, how that fight is going for you in Congress, and what's that like? A guy that came from the boogie down Bronx is asking people to really pay attention to this and really trying to get politicians to bear down on medical facilities to follow the federal rule that's in place that says you have to clearly provide upfront pricing and information to patients before anything happens. How's that going? How is that fight going with the folks that you talk to in Congress?
Well, the language is very tricky. So, right now, the hospital's insurers, they want to say estimates. Estimates is BS. And so we want the prices because now it can be competitive because all the hospitals show their prices. If I got to take an MRI, I look at my 3 favorite hospitals, I'm going to go for the cheapest price with the most quality. And right now, you just don't have that. And people are losing their homes. They're losing their families due to pricing. And so we're just saying, show us the prices. If we went into a Chick-fil-A and we asked for a sandwich, and shout out to Chick-fil-A, Washington, D.C., over there by Chinatown. They take care of me every time I go there. But if we go on Chick-fil-A, we know the price of the sandwich. We know the price of the sandwich. How are you going to go to a hospital under duress to get a procedure and won't even know the prices? So they price gouge and they give you whatever bill they want. Some people go to the hospitals same day for the same procedure. Somebody pays $2,000, somebody pays $18,000, somebody pays $64,000. I met a young lady in Washington. She has a rubber thing on her hand that says, if I get sick, don't call 911, call me an Uber. because she's afraid of what the ambulance price is going to be. And so this is a very realistic, and being that the prices are so high, people are getting sick in America because people are afraid to walk inside the hospitals and get procedures done because they're afraid of the prices. And so people are losing their homes, they're losing their jobs, they're losing everything. And so we have everybody on this issue, bipartisan. We love Senator Braun and Senator Bernie Sanders' bill. That has the real language that we need out there in the Senate. If that bill is passed, then I think we acquired that. We could pull away the megaphones.
I don't know, Fat Joe. You are really good on the megaphone, on the mic at least. And this fight, you have been able to bring in so many different people that the world knows very well. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here on CNN News Central. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sara. Thank you.